Because I am a man of my word.
It's 2020. It's 2020.
Are you guys playing a joke on me? Is this the whole thing? Is this?
Oh,
Are you guys about to?
that would have been
Awesome.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right, guys, just forewarning, like warning alert, I guess, at the beginning of the episode. This episode's going to be disgustingly cute, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
Turn back now if you don't like
Is it
cute
because
things.
I've grown this mustache?
That stash is excellent.
Yeah, I figured since I got my face covered the whole time, I might as well just look as ridiculous. I haven't had a haircut either in forever, so I'm just growing I'm just going to try to look as weird as I can.
I think I should grow out my mustache.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could do whatever. You could be whatever you want. It's 2020.
Yes.
Casey, tell our friends who that.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Welcome to another episode of the Beacon House Podcast.
Oh, that's right.
I'm your host, Casey.
Hey, I'm your host, Spence.
Hunter?
All
Perfect.
right.
Thanks,
All
Hunter.
right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
And our special guest today is...
Hey, Casey, who is our special guest? It's this lovely person that I'm talking to here.
Yeah.
We just met. Who is this?
I'm getting all like jittery. I'm like nervous. I'm like,
Who's this person that's
I don't know if
sitting
I
here
should
with us?
tell the world, but I want to tell the world.
I think you should
The
just go and
person-
tell the world. Who's this?
It's my girlfriend. I got a girlfriend, Savannah.
Hello.
Savannah Bailey. Can I say your last name?
You just did?
Yeah, I just did. You might want to edit that out.
So just-
Savannah.
Savage.
Ooh, savage. See, that's my
That
favorite.
white bitch. I'll respond to all of it.
Savannah.
Savannah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And you must be very patient. If you have agreed to be the girlfriend of this
Yeah, I'm
handsome
exhausted.
Oh my God! Yeah. Do you need a nap, or could we get you
A
some
wink.
Could we get you some mints or something? So what? Okay, guys, that's it. The cat's out of the bag. Casey,
Yeah.
you guys have. How long have you guys been dating?
A month?
Yeah, our first date was a month ago.
Yes, we went to a bridged for our first
Shame,
date.
shame on you for not telling. You've been keeping this secret for a month.
You know I like my privacy.
That's true, and I respect that. I like mine too. Everybody gets mad because they never know if I'm dating anybody or not because I just don't ever talk about it.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
It's kind of nice just be like dating under the radar for a little bit,
It's
just to
kinda
feel
nice.
things out, and then one day just let it all out and watch everybody freak. That's my
I mean,
favorite
that's
part.
basically kind of what happened with
Yeah.
our friend group.
Well, do it. Tell this. Everybody's going to want to know now. Tell the story about how you guys met.
So we met a year and a half ago. I guess we were talking about it earlier today before you got here, and we met.
Was it a dating
through,
app? A dating app?
No, we met
No.
through Libby and Hunter.
You met through
No.
She
real
worked
life.
at Books a Million.
I worked at Books a Million.
You worked at Books a Million?
I did
How do I not
for
know
like
you?
7 months
Weird. Okay.
last year. So I became friends with Hunter because,
Then I've definitely seen you because I was in there every Tuesday, almost.
oh yeah.
All the time. Okay, go on.
So I became friends with Hunter because day 2 I made a diabetes joke. We were instant friends, but it's fine because I'm hypoglycemic. So I was like, well.
We'll get there.
And then they had me over for dinner probably a month later, 2 months later. And I think that's where we met.
I'm pretty sure I was there. Usually when Libby and Hunter cook, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come over?" I'm like, "Yeah, free food, sure."
He's like, I'm standing outside right
so
now.
much for love at first sight because we're both like, I don't know when.
Were you at Hunter and Libby's house the night that there was a party and we played games? Were you there for that? I feel like maybe you were there for that. No?
You were.
Yeah.
Did you show
Wait,
up when
Hunter's
Hunter?
birthday?
Yes.
Yes. I was
Which
there.
one? When he got a pound of sugar, or when he had to dig through sugar?
Well, I was only there for one.
Was it the one where everybody spanked him a lot?
No, that was the first one. That was the pound of sugar
think so.
one.
Hey, Hunter, which one was she at?
Oh,
All right, anyway.
That's not what I asked, but okay, thanks.
Okay, man, we'll get there. So, well, okay, keep going. You guys take the floor. Tell your little story. People are very inspired by meeting stories.
But it really is not like this like grand story, I guess.
Not
'cause
really.
We were mutual, like we had mutual friends with Hunter and Libby, and we would just show up at game nights, hang out, talk, make each other laugh, have a good time.
Yeah.
But we didn't really start talking until like, I guess, November of last year.
Yeah. It was probably after the Friendsgiving, actually.
Yeah.
Beacon House Friends.
And we kind of, Beacon House Friendsgiving, bringing people together.
It did. It looks like it did. Keep going.
But
We'll see.
and we started kind
a
of,
realist.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, you know what? Just give it.
which by the way, that was
I love
everyone's favorite joke when I was like, oh, like you should come with me in September, and you're like, well, we'll see.
We'll
And
see.
everyone's like, yeah,
We'll
she's gonna
see.
dump you.
I love that. We'll see. We'll see.
But
So who made the first? Who made the first move? How did it?
That I don't know.
He did.
Did
Was
I?
it? Okay,
Yeah.
now Casey,
do you remember this?
Casey,
Like,
you shut up. Savannah, was he? How did he do it? Was he charming? How did he? Was he?
I'm never charming.
Did he put the moves on you? What did he do? Come on, let's hear it. This is what everybody wants.
Actually, we haven't even thought about this, but technically our first date was when we went to that Mexican restaurant.
That is true. We went to Che Guevara.
to know. Oh, nice.
When was that?
Good
Was that
choice.
November?
Very good.
No,
choice.
that was end of December, beginning of January. That was around Christmas
That's
time.
right.
New
That
Year's.
was
Pre-COVID.
right after Christmas.
pre-COVID.
Yeah, we were going to go eat with Libby and Hunter, and they were like 2 hours late.
Yes, and we sat there.
And we were like, okay, well, we're having dinner.
we sat there, ate, chatted up. They showed up late. I don't think they ordered anything.
No, we all ate. We waited. We ate chips and salsa until they got
That's
there.
right, because Che Guevara has the best
Oh, it's
salsa
incredible.
verde.
It's the greatest Mexican restaurant ever.
And we like knew each other but didn't. So it was still that like
So were there spark-
kind of awkward
It was
conversation.
awkward.
Of,
It's
like,
always awkward, but were the sparks flying, or did that come later?
I think later.
I think they were
Okay.
flying from there. Nope. It
Oops.
was. But anyways,
Oops.
COVID.
Of course you did.
But things happened. It kind of fell off. COVID happened, and then
And there's nothing more romantic than a virus.
Oh, yeah.
God. And we really didn't see much of each other. And then all of a sudden, like in June,
Yeah.
I think either you texted me or one of us texted the other one and was like, I was like, we should go out sometime. Just, you know what? I'm tired of this like the virus thing. I've been thinking about this for a
I
while.
think we were talking about movies or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we should go somewhere.
Yeah, we should go somewhere. But I think when I reached out to you, you're in Florida with your mom and a bunch of girlfriends.
I was.
And then when you came back, more going back and forth. Meet this week. No, meet
Yeah.
this week. And then finally we just met.
Because we're both working full time. I mean, yeah.
Which, by the way, wonderful.
What?
Like, I just...
that I have a job?
Well, I think just having a job right now, period, is wonderful. Like, that's...
Kinda
I have
depends
so
on the
many
job.
friends.
Yeah,
I
I'll
feel
get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Really? I have so many, like, people, like, not friends, but mutual acquaintances are, like, kind of getting laid off and stuff. And it's just like...
No. Yeah, and I don't want to sound
Oh, the
insensitive.
layoff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's horrible if somebody's forced onto unemployment because of this thing, and I hate. We were
That they
talking
haven't
about.
agreed on a new help.
Oh, and they're
Or-
not going to for a long time. They've taken a recess till like September, so there's no new check coming yet. Maybe who knows? But no, yeah, I didn't mean to seem ungrateful. Just work can be a little working through.
Yeah, I would not want to do like food service right now.
Yeah, because that's what I do. And being a frontline worker through a pandemic it's
Yeah.
interesting to put
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Anyway, but
But we went on our first date in, I guess, beginning of July. You had just gotten back from a 4th of July beach trip.
and it's nearly
like the middle of July.
Nearly
'Cause it's been a
September.
month.
You sneaky
been a
devil!
month,
You
so-
you are a sneaky devil.
Yeah, I am. I'm a sneak. But we went to a bridge because I was like, I've heard they have the best burger, which, by the way, it is.
They do.
And
sour beer.
Yeah.
Is that the one in West Knoxville here?
It's the one that's next to the library.
Yeah, I've been there. I didn't eat there, but I've been there once.
And I don't know, I can't be sure, but sitting there at a bridge talking and having like a good conversation, it's close to 4th of July, but I could have sworn there was fireworks. Hey.
All I know
so
is that
sorry.
I was sweating so much.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Not
They-
the good kind of hot, like just hot.
Yeah, they made us sit outside.
Yeah, it was real hot.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Well,
Yeah.
then you shut up, Casey. We know about you plenty. Savannah, tell us about you. What do you do? Tell us your story. Give us your biography.
Well, for work, I am a graphic designer,
Ooh, that's pretty badass.
and I also manage all of our production at a printing company.
Nice.
And then
We have been taken pity on by many a good graphic designer for some of our branding and various things like that. So we appreciate people that do what you do
Yeah.
very, very much.
And then I paint a lot, and not as much now. I just got a new tablet though, so I've been doing a lot of digital drawing.
good.
And I read a lot and
What do you like to read?
anything.
That's awesome.
Anything,
I believe it
everything.
when you say it. A lot of people say that, and I just go, yeah, whatever. But it
Yeah.
seems like you probably know what
No,
you're
like
talking
I ran in BAM the other day and I got 2 design books, a Vincent van Gogh book, 2 theology books.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, well, let's go ahead and get into that. Savannah here is a fan of theology, which you also know that I am. I'm a big C.S. Lewis nut and all that. You know, and Hunter practices his stuff. I don't go to church. I consider myself a member of Awakened Church downtown. And my good buddy Adam. Everybody's heard this a million times, but he is a practicing churchgoer and whatnot. I consider myself a theology buff, but Casey has always been kind of on the fence. And I hear that maybe...
I have. And when you and Hunter, we have our
I'm going to
debates-
bust your ass over this.
I
You
know.
fucking wait, dude. You fucking wait. So,
Listen, you and Hunter, when we have our arguments, I feel like I need to be able to push back just so I can be a differing opinion. And also, I really felt high and mighty about my opinion. But
which is valid for the record.
But your
and I said
opinion's
this,
wrong.
I'm just going to, you guys go.
But I got called out. And that's what happened.
Yep.
Is because we had a conversation about
And that's
beliefs
also
and
when he knew
religion.
he liked me because I
Told him to
called
get,
bullshit.
She called, and honestly, you have some of the best like dark jokes that just come out of nowhere. Like I think yesterday you made a diabetes joke at dinner about Hunter, and I about lost it.
I did.
Like
So
something-
Savannah, tell us how you broached the subject. No, Savannah,
No.
you tell us, because we know you're going to make excuses, you fucker.
This is horseshit.
Everybody listening to this right now, I'm with you. I'm in the car with you, listening to these two. Fucking Savannah, tell us how you broached the subject. Broached.
Well, I think I was pretty upfront at the beginning of us going out of this is a large portion of my life. Like, I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to pray. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go to Bible studies and stuff. And you just need to know that. And kind of like, if this becomes a thing, just know that you're going to be second to that, I guess. Like my relationship with God is my number one.
And Casey, how did you take that? You're going to be number 2.
How did I take that?
He said, it's not like you're seeing another physical person, right? And I said, yes. And he said, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Then we're good.
I was like, this is a different plane of existence we're
He's
talking
like,
about.
you and
correct?
God are not like going to pass notes or anything. You guys aren't like...
It's like, you're not cheating on me with
You're
God,
not, yeah,
right?
You're not going to like tell
Which
me you're
speaks-
staying home and you're actually going to see God, right?
Which that comment right there, as sad as it is, speaks leaps and bounds to my past.
Dang. So Savannah, give us a little bit of a background on how did you grow up religious?
Yeah.
Did you discover it? So this has been sort of tell us how your upbringing with all that stuff.
Yeah, my parents, we grew up in the church, reading the Bible, knowing all the stories. I grew up actually on a farm/ranch in Sevier County. My dad was a social worker, and it was like a Christian camp for foster students.
Right.
Or foster kids.
Which, by the way, just to interject real quick, somebody pointed that out recently in a conversation we were having about just somebody was talking about the state of the world, and it wasn't a political thing, but they were just talking about how I think I was making one of my big libertarian rants about how more government and more programs haven't ever helped anything, and that it's up to people to kind of do the right thing. And somebody pointed out, and I honestly don't remember who it was, but they were like, like back in the 50s and the 60s, and the church did a lot of that stuff. The church was your social worker. The church was your marriage counselor. The church did a lot of these things. And that's just something you never really hear people bring up is that, and again, and I know people that have sat in the chair you're sitting at right now would go, well, the church also bangs kids, and the church also does these terrible things. They start wars, and I get it. And I also realized in the 50s and 60s that things were not as equal as they are now for everybody. But my whole point is just what you said, like the social work that the church has been helping people for a long time in a lot of those ways.
And that's
I think
in scripture of like help the widows and the orphans.
Oh, wow,
We're
okay.
called to do that. Yeah.
I think they do a better job than the government does. Just throwing that out there.
Zing.
Go on. I think anybody does a better job than the government does, but go on.
And then my mom works for Young Life, so that's a ministry that helps.
I've had a lot of
high
friends
school
that were involved in
kids.
Young Life since I was like in 8th grade and stuff.
So kind of grew up knowing all of it, went to church camp, did that whole thing. I wouldn't say fall off the wagon, but kind of went out on my own for a couple years.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. A lot of people that have like a religious upbringing at some point go off the ranch. They go, I can't. Was that you, Casey?
Yeah, kind of.
So you had a religious upbringing?
Yeah, I was very Presbyterian growing up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought you were saying that you are an example of me falling off the wagon.
No,
Okay.
no. And that's the one thing I was worried about because you were like, my family is very religious. They're very, they have this belief.
Your family is?
My
Okay.
family, my whole family's Presbyterian.
Okay,
but
okay.
also her family, and she also brought up like, they might frown upon the fact that you don't necessarily believe what we. And I had to point out I'm not like a God-hating atheist, and I've never been that. I've never been like the face.
I agree with. I think anybody
I've never
listening
been
to this
ugly about it. Like people have their beliefs,
Yeah.
and I'm 100% respectful of someone's beliefs because that's not for me to decide.
And
what
I think
you
you've
believe.
been maybe outspoken about some of the atrocities that people commit and then blame it on God. Like people do horrible things and they go, well, this is what Jesus wants, or Jesus doesn't like people of that race, or what, like they say terrible things and then blame it on religion. And I think you've been very outspoken about that. And for the record, I feel the same way you do about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Oh yeah, so kind of like fell off the wagon. I mean, not really. I didn't like party and go crazy or anything. But in college, I just kind of finally, I guess, had a moment where it's like, what do I actually think? Like, what do I do? And that's when I really got into reading theology because I wanted to figure out what I thought.
Yeah, because up till that point, maybe you've just been kind of holding a religion that somebody handed you.
Exactly.
And it worked, but then I think
I was like, great, but I'm not with my parents anymore. So what do I think?
I was the same way. My parents weren't super religious, but we went to Sunday school sometimes, and there was a Bible around, and but they were never. It was never like a practicing. Like we didn't pray before dinner and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, again, same thing. I kind of had this. I wanted to search for truth. Like I realized that everything that you've been handed your whole life doesn't necessarily make sense. You've got to figure things out for yourself. And I did the same thing. I went down the theology rabbit hole. I found through music, which is my lifelong obsession. Through music, I found C.S. Lewis, and through C.S. Lewis, I found how to think properly. Basically, you know. But go on. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And then I basically came to this like moment in the road where it's like, okay, am I going to do this or not? Like, am I going to believe it? And I did. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story about that. That's awesome. And so, Casey, how is that for you? Since you've kind of been a little off.
And I would like to point out that she brought up her side and said that you'd be second, and I was very cute and was just like, "Does that mean that you're going to cheat on me with God?" No,
If anybody listening to this, you should see the face he just made.
Yeah, it was funny.
He did the rosy cherub cheeks.
And I really
somebody was selling some dinner cakes.
And I really did talk like I didn't act like you were gonna sleep with God. That's sacrilege. I shouldn't say that.
It's getting hot.
I shouldn't say that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even
Don't
said
like that.
Edit. But you brought that up, and I was just like, look, as long as I'm not second to somebody else physically, that's fine. And I even told you I'm not like a hardcore atheist. I have my beliefs. But I honestly think for me, I had a religious upbringing, and at one point I was given the opportunity to question what I believed and have my own have my own thoughts. And instead of doing the research, which is what you called me out on, I just went and listened to other people and try to piece together what I thought sounded right.
Yeah.
And then finally met up with a friend who was like studying theology and described like what I believe exactly. And he was like, sounds like you're deist. It sounds like you believe that there's not like this omnipresent that's watching you and making sure you're on your best behavior. That's up to you, the person, to be on your best behavior and not without a threat of something else. And I was like, okay. And so that's what I just went with. But you made me put my money where my mouth was and went, well, have you actually read the Bible?
Yeah, because that's just Christianity without any responsibility.
Sorry.
How long have you held on to that one? How many years?
No, that's part. When you read theology, you
What do you think instills that idea in you?
Right. Where does that?
I should be a good person.
Yeah. Where does right and wrong come from?
Where does that come
think?
from inside you?
Yeah. And so there's all these things too. Most people's logic is circular when they're denying them, but theology is deep. And sometimes I would read a chapter and I would have to sit up like a whole day thinking about it to go, whoa, what does that really mean? Jesus, that's a lot, But it's kind of the same thing. And I didn't mean it. I wasn't crapping. No. Some people are deists, and they do believe that they think there's a proof of an intelligent design in everything, but that just it doesn't affect your day-to-day life, and it doesn't care what you do, and it doesn't really have any opinions about.
Well, and I think this whole conversation speaks true to 2020 in general, which is even at 31, I'm allowed to change my ideas and my thought process on things while actually because I'm actually going to do the research now, because that's what you were like, do me a favor, just read it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna you have your beliefs that you're gonna have, at least figure out why and
Hunter,
read and
Hunter, are you hearing this? Hunter, are you hearing? I mean, you're sitting right across from me allegedly. But are you hearing this?
But I believe if my memory is correct and what you told me earlier, today is 1 month.
Yes.
And so yesterday you gave me a Bible.
Yes.
And really made me
If everyone pause the podcast if you need to.
Which, by the way,
she gave Casey a Bible, and he has it still.
And I happily accepted it.
He has a Bible.
Yeah. And what was funny is last week, we were on Amazon looking at them because I wanted, if I was going to get one.
You guys were shopping for Bibles together?
Yeah. Because
I am a man of my word.
It's 2020. It's 2020.
Are you guys playing a joke on me? Is this the whole thing? Is this?
Oh,
are you guys about?
That would have been
that would have
awesome.
been excellent.
Are you guys about to straight up go, dude? We're just playing. Casey doesn't believe shit.
And then she was like, actually, I'm full blown atheist. Really, that would have been no. But no, we were on Amazon.
Hey, by the way, thanks for all your theology. Thanks, C.S. Lewis, you ding dong. Oh, I'm sorry.
But I was on Amazon because I was like, why? If I'm going to get one, and it's going to be like, if I'm going to get a Bible and it's going to be mine, I want one that I like the look of. Like, I'm not just going to go out and buy a random Bible and be like, this is mine. Like, I want it to match me.
You want to be able to play video games on it.
No.
I'm having so much fun here today.
But when we were looking through, and I was like, oh, I really like these like brown pleather looking ones. Like, they look good. Yeah. I like it. I don't know why the look of a Bible matters to me, but it does. Like, I'm like, if I'm going to be carrying this thing around.
There's something to it. I remember I always used to see the ones that had like what do you call it when the side of the page is gold?
I don't know what it's called.
That's mine.
What?
Mine does that.
I thought it was neat. Or anytime I had a book with the sides of the pages, is that gilding? Mm-hmm. Did they call that gilding?
Maybe.
I don't know. Where it's
I should know.
red
paper.
Red, and they put it on that super thin like parchment paper. I think there's something cool, but there's something very tactical.
He's describing my Bible.
He is.
No. One time, my aunt and uncle came to town, and they gave me one as a gift. And they're a lot more religious than I am, obviously. But it was one of these where, as you were reading it, it would have like certain sections like highlighted. It was almost like a student. Like a studying thing.
Like a study Bible.
And you could literally take your phone and scan, and it would open up a video explaining that. Oh,
that's cool.
Like,
what?
Yeah,
that's
it
really
would explain that part. Because so much of the Bible is extremely... A, there's a lot of mystery in it. B, it's real complicated. And again, that's why it takes a guy like Eric Stam to go, well, see what that really means right there. Mm-hmm. At 250 BC...
Yeah, because context had a lot to do with it.
Context had so much to do with, like, the Romans were actually doing this. So when it says... go into town and cut all their heads off, it actually meant bring people bread, or there's things that you just, if you don't have a historical knowledge of it, it's going to sound crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes even if you do, it still sounds a little crazy. But this is one of these where you could it had little like a Q code, which is weird, admittedly, to flip through a Bible and it's got a bunch of Q codes in it, and like places are highlighted pink and yellow, and you're like, what the fuck am I reading? But if you scan it with your phone, it opens up a video and it shows you a guy's explaining that paragraph. And anyway, I haven't spent a lot of time with it, admittedly. I'm guilty. But there's a lot to learn other than just like reading. It's a pretty much a never-ending mystery.
Well, and one of the things, the one I got him has a section of references. So like in the middle of every page, there's references. So you can go, especially in the New Testament, it's great because then you can go back and see where prophecies were actually said. And that kind of thing, which is cool.
That's right. So we need to do a follow-up episode to this then. And we need to have Eric Stam come on, and I want to hear what you have discovered that you think.
You also got to understand, when I read books, I read them slow, and this one's going to take me a minute.
Well, that's,
but you're supposed to read it slow.
Oh, okay. Good. That's fine then. Because I already, by the way, she read, I'm thinking of ending things.
Uh-oh, it's coming out soon. Kudos to you.
You didn't like it. Did you finish it? I can't remember if you actually finished it.
I did finish it.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I mean...
It's weird.
It's weird. Did you reread it?
It made me real uncomfortable.
It is, yeah, it's super weird. Did you go back through it and read the italicized? Did you do anything after you finished it?
A little bit. I went back and read the beginning just to kind of see if I could catch on to things.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the italicized versions, if you read them from back to front, they make more sense.
Oh, I reread the whole thing, and I was just like, oh my God. See, right now it's coming out on Netflix September 4th.
I don't think I showed you the trailer yet. It also looks weird.
I think I looked it up.
It looks super weird. It's the guy that did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I think he puts just as much of a stamp on it as the writer. So it's going to be a lot, and I'm right now telling people, hey, look, if you ever wanted to read it, you might read it now before it comes out, because I don't know what the experience will be like reading it after you've seen the movie.
Knowing what's happening.
I kind of am glad that I read the book first, and that way
Same.
I feel like when I'm watching the movie and you see him pulling up to the house or whatever, you'll have this like, I know what's about to happen.
This is why.
I feel like it'll give you a heightened experience to have read the book going into the movie, but I don't know.
Have you noticed that in the movie trailer, Toni Collette looks 3 different ways? She looks like 3 different people in different sections of the movie.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, please see our Beacon House Book Club episode where we talk about I'm Thinking of Ending Things, or just go read it and then check out our Beacon House.
It's pretty short.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not
a lot of people do it in one night. I'm not that fast of a reader, but a lot of people go through it in a day.
And I'm not either.
I did it in a week, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
But if it's okay that it's going to take me a while to read it and no one's going to hold
totally
that against
fine.
me.
Totally fine.
Good.
Well, guys, I don't want to cut it too short here, but I think we've got a good length. Savannah, thank you so much for coming
thanks
and
for
enjoying.
having me.
And also, thanks for reacquainting yourself. Obviously, we've been in the same room a million times.
Yeah, we've met.
Books a million, Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving,
I don't
whatever.
think we've ever had a conversation.
Well, you're welcome here anytime.
Well, thank you.
And good luck putting up with this one here.
And I honestly feel like, just to cap on this, because I feel like I've got cut off here for a second because I know you have to go to work and I get that. But I just want to point out, because people are like him, gonna make fun of me when they hear this. I think a good relationship makes you want to grow better as a person. There,
100%. Well, and you know, I was thinking about when you were talking about even at 31 you're allowed to change your mind. 100%. And I remember my grandmother told me, I've probably told this story a million times on the podcast. When I was young, she told me, I was asking her, I started to go to school and learning about science and things like that. And I was like, well, Grandma, I don't understand. They didn't say the same thing it said in the Bible when I was 4 and I went to Sunday school. And she told me, the best thing you could do is just keep an open mind. Oh. That way you can get all the information and you can decide what you think. And I never let go of that. Yeah. And so that's what led me to theology. That's what led me to really creating my own beliefs. But that's another big problem. We complain about the media and social media and all that kind of stuff today. It's a huge problem because nobody's doing that. Nobody has an open mind about conflicting information. And when you see something you don't like, you just attack it. And I think that's bad. I think having an open mind enough to go, okay, well, all right, let's see it. If this is important to you, I'll look at it.
And I think everybody is so obsessed with you're free to your opinion, and you are. Everyone's free to an opinion. But if you don't have any background information to base your opinion on, then how can we have intelligent conversations about opinions?
Yeah, and I think there's a difference between being free to your own opinion and attacking someone else's opinion. Yeah. That's not the same thing. Like if you're not confident in your own opinions, that's when you attack some other. You're so afraid they might be right that maybe there is something wrong with it that you attack. But intelligent people, just like you two, talk about it and they go, all right, well, let's look into it. You know, so.
And honestly, I think with cell phones and society today, we're breeding and creating a society that's so impatient that they don't have the time to consider someone else's opinion.
Or that you have to blurt something out to feel okay about it. You can't just have it and go, oh, okay.
You can also do like me and just be quiet and watch people fight and go, that's a shame. They're both wrong.
That's a shame.
That's a shame. They're both wrong.
You hate to see it.
That's fair. Well, Savannah, thank you so much for joining us today. Please come back anytime.
Sounds good.
I would love to do a follow-up. I'd love for you to read a couple parts of the Bible, decide what you think about them, or questions or whatever.
I was told to start with...
And we do like a theology episode.
I was told to start with the Gospels.
We're going to start with the Gospels. If I really want to freak him out, we might start with Revelations, though.
Bring it.
Revelations.
Just kidding.
Badass.
Just kidding.
Hey, I like Apocalypse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, gang, we've been Beacon House. Thanks to our guest, Savannah, for being on today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Casey, for being...
I'm Casey.
Brave enough to bring her on. Thank you for being so patient with Casey.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to say a special thanks today for Hunter and all of his input.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hunter. I feel like you didn't say enough this episode. Gross. No, never mind. I didn't want you to say that.
Oh, no.